It's some zany action, a crazy contraption. The fun is snatching. It's mousetrap. Um, a lot of people come on here and start talking this topic. Um, they're sitting in their library of occult books, and sitting there in their dark academia outfit, and they have their legs crossed, and they say, "Well, I've done some goetia. I've dabbled into the deep darknesses. Me, this guy." And the feeling of those types of videos, while this isn't a mass-produced, overproduced production, it's underproduced. I'm obviously squatting in an abandoned building talking about this. But those um, those overproduced or even produced videos about the subject, um, it kind of gives off the feeling to me that nobody asked you, guy. So why would you go out there and say, "Here is my treasure. Come loot my treasury. I'm a very important magician. Um, I've done all these things. Here are all my attainments." That's not quite, for me, it seems the way to go forward in this, talking about this. But there is a subject that I would like to bring up because I think it might help people, for the benefit of others. Um, I'd like to do a bit of deprogramming on you. Uh, so, the topic of today's topic is using Goetia in place of therapy. Broadly, we're just going to say therapy. Talking to the demonic spirits of King Solomon's Goetia lesser key instead of going to pay the state's, I'm not sure what they even call them, therapists. I'm here to tell you, you specifically, that it is fine as an alternative to going to therapy to instead summon up the demons and talk with the demons. And as this is an introductory first video on the topic, don't get too caught up in all the ritual items that you will need because it will take a lifetime to accrue those ceremonial. It'll take at least 5, 6 years to get all the stuff that you need, but that's no excuse to not start doing. And there's a common misconception, and I've heard people who get paid over $2,000 a month for their magic advice. They'll tell you that you don't need a summoning circle in some cases, um, specifically when they're talking about Andros. There's a important warning that you gotta not use that you gotta use a circle. Don't stand outside the circle. And there's some magicians that will come on here and they get paid over $2,000 a month, and they'll say, "You don't need a circle. I did it without a circle and it works." But in order to do evocations, you need a summoning circle. You need a 9 foot in diameter circle to sit inside of, or else what you're doing is not evocation. You may think that you have become such an advanced practitioner that you don't need a summoning circle. However, I'm here to say that what you're doing is not evocation and you need a circle. It doesn't make any sense to say I I did it without protection. I did it with that I did it and I didn't even use a circle. That's not you're no longer in the realm of ceremonial magic. You are a charlatan. You're a grifter. You are lying to people. You need. Here's why. Because the summoning circle, the circle, is the part where you are. That is, it's like saying that you can do an evocation without the most fundamental part is like saying that you didn't participate in the ritual because the circle represents you. It is you. So you're saying I did it but I wasn't there. So that's an early misconception. Whenever you do it, stand inside a 9 foot circle that you've created for yourself and put your paraphernalia inside there, and there you go. um, so that's one thing, is the summoning circle. um, Another thing is that the system of magic with a K, developed by Crowley, Aleister Crowley, was invented contemporaneously with psychoanalysis. It slightly predates psychoanalysis from Freud, but it is pretty much a contemporaneous system. There's obvious flaws in Freud's work, but a lot of it has been adopted by psychology as the basis for psychology. So if you explore an alternate route that is just a different map of the same path, territory, if you take a different path on the root, which is the map of your brain, then you can get similar or better results. See, I'm just sick of, I've had multiple times of going to a therapist in the 21st century and saying, you know what I'd like, you know what I think would fix my brain is if I got psychoanalysis, Jungian psychoanalysis, and we had the transference experience. I think that would help my mental health. And the response I always get is, well, we're doing CBT because we know that that works. TM. And we're going to pump you up full of salt, and we're going to put sodium on your prefrontal cortex so that when your frontal cortex activates, you get an uncomfortable sensation. Whenever you have feelings of ecstasy, whenever you look at the deity in the temple, you're going to freak out because that is not work. There's a $300 billion pharmaceutical industry with lobbyists paying for their opinion to be the correct one. So, of course, proposing an alternative that works for you is a crazy idea. And hearing voices, unless that voice is saying, stay 6 feet apart from others, wear a mask and don't touch anything, unless the voice is saying that in your head, then that is the worst thing that can ever happen to you. And definitely be afraid of your own mind and your own mental states. Fear them, punish them, and throw pills at them because that's what really works. And you're going to need to go to somebody's office for 1 hour every week and pay them an exorbitant amount. They will extract your wealth, and then you will regurgitate what happened to you during the week, and then they will make you lick up that throw up. Oh, and they hate me. And I hate myself. All right, see you next week. So that doesn't help anybody. But it works because then you'll go back to work. You see how that works? Um, it works until it doesn't, and that system is breaking down. And I just want you to know that the alternative is valid and there's nothing wrong with using a different model that is about a different model for your own mind, since it's your own mind. And you can change it because there are rituals for you to do that. So I'm not saying don't be afraid, because fear is what you're using. use that fear of you're so afraid to start down this path. Use that for your own self transformation and your ascendancy or descendancy or something. I'm saying this because I remember how uh, lost and afraid and confused I was for a long time because I really wanted to accept what they were telling me, the people who get paid to tell you how to think. I trusted them for a very long time. When that didn't work, I felt bad, probably as you are feeling bad. But I want you to know that you can trust a system that was developed before the CIA, before the OSS. Um, the system was developed out of the Rosicrucians and Freemasons and the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and eventually Thelema, OTO. And these were all started before the CIA. So if we are to erode their institutions by not participating in them, then this alternative thought model, which precedes the broken, corrupt institutions that are meant to poison your mind through central control, um, it might be a path that you might want to explore. So I have just brought up the topic. That's not everything on the topic, but that's what I feel comfortable sharing with right now. Thank you.